Smokeless Chimney presents DC to DC converters, current control, and battery management. This is a J5019. It has good specs. I ordered a few. Here's what it looks like. It has a USB port, battery charging terminals, a number right on the board, a little potentiometer with a Phillips screwdriver head, and load outputs. I'll go to another camera and another microphone and show you why I think this board is really fancy.
I was using, this is a BMS for a lithium-ion battery, and you can charge it up through this USB port. Battery terminals are here, and then out to a DC-DC converter where you can adjust the voltage up to what you need. Well, rather than buying two boards and mounting them separately, I found this board, and it essentially does the same thing all in one board. So I don't need these unless I can't get these. So this is now my favorite board, and I can bring in power right here, or a USB power. My battery goes out this way, and then with this screw I can adjust these two, and it's really small. You know, this is 1 inch by about 1 1/3 inch. So that's it's a little smaller than these two. So this is a Drock power supply, DC to DC converter. I've got 12 volts coming in on this side, and I have it set up for 3 volts on this side. And I really like this power supply. I'm going to put this LED, which I've wired up, and I'm going to put it so that it doesn't face the camera. The reason I like these power supplies is that when I plug in a load, I can dial in with this screw here, and I'll try to make it so you can see it. There it goes, right there. You see the CC light come on? All right, so there's a red light right here. You may not be able to see it, but it's bright for me. I'll turn off some lights here, see if you can see it. When that light's on, this amperage reading doesn't change. And if you want to create a precision emitter, a precision light emitter, you need to have, well, it's best to have this constant current mode. And other power supplies say that they have it. However, setting it up is not that easy. And if I can't set it up, I wouldn't expect anybody else to be able to do it. So I'm not going to include it in some of the products that I sell. So what this does is, as this LED, which I'll try to get in the frame here, as this LED heats up and cools down, this thing will always provide a stable current to it. So the light coming out of the diode itself will always be the same. So let's see if I can, so in I have 11.9 volts coming in, and I can't really adjust these because now I've got it in constant current mode, but I could adjust the voltage up or down. I really like this, and I have not been able to find more of these. This is about the easiest DC to DC converter with the current control feedback loop that I can find. This is a Drock power supply that I found, and I think I got it adjusted, and I will hook it up to my LED here and see if I can get it to current control. I was using these a while back and I thought they were fine. It has not quite the same resolution on the amperage scale. Let's see if I can adjust this back. This is a power supply setup that I was using for a while. It has a display, so I'm running about 11.8 volts in here, 11.8 volts in here, and putting out 5 volts, and it comes in here and gets dropped down to just under 3. So it has a display, but I don't see any current control. You can adjust the voltage with this screw right here. I don't want to do that right now, but I needed 2 power supplies to get a good control of a 3 volt LED, and I don't see any current control on this, and so I abandoned this power supply DC to DC converter setup. So this is a power supply DC DC converter that I've got. I'm running 12 volts into it on this end. I'm going to use a to figure out the voltage. Alright, so it's 12 volts right now. Nice to know that before I plug it into my LED. I'm going to... This is another power supply that I really like. However, I've not been able to get it in current control mode. I've tried several times and it's just too difficult, so I won't include it in products. I do like it for some other reasons. It has all these, if I hold this down, once it goes to watts, once it goes to amp hours, once it goes to watt hours, and I've been running here for 5 minutes, and the amount. It also has some other features. Now, I've not been able to get it in current control mode, and I'll show you how I think it's supposed to be done. Let me think. You go, there it goes, CC. So now, well, I seen it trips back. So I go, hold it down, CC, and I want to let it go up a little bit. 105. Set it again. So for a current control module, I don't know that this is a good one. I want to see an LED light up when I get it in current control mode. It is working okay, and I do use this for other functions. I can bring, let's see here, I can turn it on and off with this button. I can, it's got a USB output. If I want to set it for that voltage, I can bring in power here. It doesn't have a name or any numbers. I got it from AliExpress. Fine power supply, DC to DC converter, but if it doesn't do what I want for the precision emitter, well, I'm not going to use it.
The J5019 appears to be a very good module with limited output adjustment. It appears to be from 4.5 to 24 volts. I use it at 12 volts, and so I can hook it up to 1, 2, 3, or 4 18650s in parallel, and it will charge them, and it will keep track of the charging, and it will shut the batteries off if it gets too low, what a BMS should do, and provide the power to the DC to DC converter for the fine voltage and current control. So to maintain the batteries and to get you some DC voltage, this might be the ticket. Looking around for a replacement that will perform the current control feature that I need, I found this one from Drock, and there's a product code there and a price. And this appears to be approximately what I will need, and if I'm looking for a replacement, this is the one I'm going to purchase. It's a rather tall board. It has some large components on the bottom, so you have to take that into consideration when you're trying to mount it. But it provides far more power than you need. I'm Smokeless Chimney, warm homes and clean air for everyone. www.smokelesschimney.com.